Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I am your host, Chris Schanfeld, and I am now joined by Detroit Lions linebacker Brandon Hepburn. Thanks for joining the show, Brandon. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going good.
So I want to start this interview off by throwing out the fact that you grew up in New York but attended Florida A&M University and played football there. I just got to ask you, how did you decide that FAMU was the best fit for you?
Well, really, FAMU chose me. Coming out of high school, I had a pretty good high school career, but recruiting wasn't the best in my area of the state. So I actually went down to FAMU on an academic scholarship. So through hard work and the Lord's graces, I was able to earn myself a scholarship the next semester, and I guess the rest is history.
Now, I see that you redshirted your first year at FAMU in 2008 before committing to Florida A&M. Did you have any idea that you would redshirt, or was that just how things worked out?
When I was redshirting, I didn't want to redshirt. I was trying my best to get on the field any way I could. So I really tried hard on special teams. Went to all the meetings. I actually went to both offensive and defensive meetings because the coaching staff at the time had me kind of swinging both ways between linebacker and tight end. So I really just tried my best, tried to put my best foot forward, and try to get on the field.
In 2009, you played special teams and was able to rack up 13 tackles. And in 2010, you played in 10 games and was able to rack up 14 tackles, a sack, and 2 interceptions on the season. Any chance you could, describe that very first big impact play that you made as a Florida A&M Rattler?
Yeah, I remember it was against South Carolina State on a home game. It was, I think, it wasn't our homecoming. It was Sings Day. And Coach Holmes put me out there for like a play or two, and I was playing outside linebacker on somebody that seemed to be like 6'10". And I was able to do a good job. And at that point in time, I was like, you know what, I think I could really play this game at high level in college. And I looked forward to that, and I just wanted to use it towards another good season, to finish out that season well, next season, and hopefully go on to my dream and play in the NFL.
As a linebacker, what feels better, being able to show off your hands and get an interception, or lay a big hit and force a fumble, Brandon?
Whatever helps the team. I'm a physical guy, so big hits are always that thing. I feel like if you can get a big hit that causes a fumble or knocks the guy out for the game, that's supreme. You know what I mean? That goes a long way in the film run.
Brandon, in 2010, which was your junior year, you were named the starting linebacker and recorded 63 tackles. It would be safe to say that this was when Brandon Hepburn was starting to make his name more well-known. Am I right?
Yeah, that was, I guess, my quote-unquote breakout season. 63 isn't exactly the highest number, but it was a huge accomplishment. Coming from where I came from and the struggle that I had to go through and all the things the Lord put me through, it was a blessing to be able to get onto the field and make an impact on the game.
Was it during or maybe even after this season when you began thinking about the possibility of playing in the NFL, or were you always thinking that?
I had wanted to play in the league. My uncle, he actually played for a little while, 1 or 2 years, and he's the reason why I play football. He's a major inspiration to me, watching him and, throwing the ball around with him when I was a little kid and watching Ray Lewis play. I said, you know what, Lord, if I can do that with a part of my life, I'll be happy.
You had a big year in your senior year. You had 86 tackles. You also had 9.5 tackles for losses and 7 pass breakups. You sure left FAMU on a good note, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think I had the opportunity to make a lot of plays, and I just tried to make every single one of mine that was within the confines of the system.
Now in the 7th round of the 2013 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Brandon Hepburn, linebacker out of Florida A&M. What was this moment like for you to achieve what I think would be your lifetime goal?
It was a joyous moment. I was surrounded by a lot of friends and family. My wife now, girlfriend then, came over to watch a part of the draft, and it was a blessing to hear my name called, man. It was a lifelong dream, but the dream, has continued. My absolute goal wasn't just to get drafted, but to start in the league and to make an impact on the league as I did where I was at FAMU. So I'm working towards that goal now, just working out and preparing, watching film, getting ready for the next season.
Were you surprised at all that the Lions were the team to draft you? I mean, were they a team that seemed interested in you, during your pro day and whatnot?
Yeah, they were a little surprising, but it wasn't a shock to me. They did. That was the only team to which I was able to have a personal meeting and an informal meeting during the NFL Combine that I was at last spring, and they grilled me, but I had a feeling that they were interested at that point. So from then on, with Coach Holmes playing with the Lions towards the twilight of his career, I looked forward to heading over to Detroit. I think Detroit's a great city. I think it's definitely a microcosm of America. And, the way they're rebuilding and the whole opportunity Detroit that's going on over there, it's great. So I was able to, not just be playing football and live my dream, but I was able to, make a few kids' dreams as well when I was up there with some volunteer opportunities that were given to me through athletes for charity. So it was a blessing, man. It was a blessing.
Brandon, just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. I really do appreciate your time. Now, I know it was a preseason game, but hey, in my eyes, an NFL game is an NFL game. Can you tell us about that very first NFL game that you played in, and how you were feeling entering that game?
I was nervous, man. It was, it was against my childhood favorite team, the Jets, and I just wanted to go out and perform. I wanted to go out and do well, and I didn't get minutes until towards the twilight of the game. But at the same time, I got in there, got my first little bit of NFL action, played special teams, and it was fun. You know what I mean? It was fun. After it was all said and done, I enjoyed myself, and I was glad and thankful to the Lord, thankful to the organization, the GM, the coaches for giving me an opportunity to go out and play the sport that I love.
You spent this past season on the practice squad, and to be on the same team as the Calvin Johnson, Reggie Bush, Ndamukong Suh, etc. What was that like? How would you describe your very first year in the NFL?
It was a blessing, to be honest. It was really a lot of learning. Actually, one of the first guys I talked to when I got to the squad was Calvin, and he's a real cool guy. To see somebody that has been able to accomplish that much through the game, to see somebody that is that dominant in the game today, and for them to be down to earth, it taught me a lot about being a professional. It taught me a lot about what's important in the game. Mm-hmm. Some people play for money, some people play for the accolades, but guys like him and guys like Sue, guys like Matt Stafford, guys like Reggie Bush, they taught me how to conduct myself as a professional and to bring my game to that next level. And I think that's a blessing. I'm looking forward to just learning more from them, talking to them, being with those guys again when we head back over to Detroit.
Now, Brandon, a few weeks ago, Jim Caldwell, who was offensive coordinator in Baltimore, he was hired as a new head coach of the Detroit Lions. Knowing a little bit about his past and seeing what he was able to do as a head coach of a team, being able to make it to the big dance, the Super Bowl with the Colts, and even with the Baltimore Ravens a couple seasons ago, does that excite you even more for this upcoming season?
Well, Coach Schwartz was an awesome coach. He was a great defensive mind, and I know he's going to do great things over with the Bills. And I learned a lot from him. The coaches were hard on me, but as they should be. It was my rookie year, and I needed to learn. So I learned a lot from those guys. And, Coach Caldwell, I haven't met him yet, but I'm sure he's a great guy. He's done some great things in the league, and I'm just looking forward to being with him and the whole new coaching staff that we have.
Brandon, I know the season just ended, but what are your expectations for this upcoming season?
Great things, man. I'd rather put in the work and see how things play out than to make predictions. So we're going to wait and see how things happen, but I'm sure that it'll be a great season.
Brandon, I'm wishing you nothing but the best, man. I really do appreciate your time. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to myself and our listeners?
Just tune into the show, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Take care.